Coming from Yahoo Finance, have I told you how screwed I think OpenAI is yet today? I think OpenAI is just terrifically screwed. Anthropic surpasses OpenAI in Q2 revenue for the first time. So remember when OpenAI was the front runner and they thought Anthropic was cute? Oh, isn't that adorable? Anthropic is going after the coders, right? It seemed like OpenAI was trying to take over the entire world of artificial intelligence, and basically Anthropic was pigeonholed into only one specific niche. Maybe they could be successful there, maybe they could be a valuable company there, but they weren't going to be a real AI player like OpenAI is. Well, give it a year and crap changes. Crap changes in real time. As I've said before, this is the perfect example of how first mover advantage many times isn't actually an advantage, and the people that come down the road after the first mover many times can be more successful because they can see where the first mover failed. They can build on all the technology and resources that have been created by the first mover, and they can see where the most valuable market segments are, so they can target the things that are actually going to bring in revenue and profit instead of doing basically a shotgun strategy where you try to figure out what people are willing to pay for and you end up losing a lot of money. I think one of the interesting things with this between Anthropic and OpenAI is not only is Anthropic's revenue above OpenAI's for the first time, but it actually seems that Anthropic is getting to profitability. Look, to be clear, by some degree, by some definition, where on the other hand, OpenAI is still just burning cash. I don't really believe Anthropic is profitable in any way that any normal human being would recognize profitability, but it does seem that if nothing else, they are losing so much less cash than it seems that OpenAI is going through. And so with Anthropic, trying to IPO September, maybe October, $2 trillion valuation, I think there's going to be a real question about, is OpenAI going to be worth anything? Is Dario going to throw a couple of pennies at Sam Altman and basically buy OpenAI for a tax deduction a year or two from now? If we go over here and take a look at this, Anthropic surpassed OpenAI in quarterly revenue for the first time in the second quarter, underscoring a shift in the competitive landscape between the two AI companies. Anthropic posted 11.6 billion in revenue for the first 3 months ended in June, more than doubling its first quarter total of 4.73. So this is where they talk about, again, with ARR and all that kind of stuff. They think Anthropic, I think, is going to get to $100 billion, $100 to $120 billion of ARR by the end of this year. And they are, I don't know. It's going up. We will say it's going up. OpenAI, by contrast, reported revenue of $6.7 billion in the second quarter, up 18% from $5.7 billion in the first quarter. And so this is where you can see. So basically, OpenAI was $1 billion ahead of Anthropic in the first quarter, and now it's massively behind. It's what is that? Like it's about $4 billion behind Anthropic, and that's how quickly things really can shift in the technology world. OpenAI's operating loss grew to $12.3 billion in the second quarter. And this is one of my concerns with OpenAI. They burned $12 billion in cash in one quarter. In one quarter. This is where I talk about where I honestly, I genuinely, again, look, it's just my opinion. I'm just kind of reading the tea leaves here. This is one of the reasons why I think OpenAI is literally running out of money. We see them trying to pull their IPO forward, or we see the argument, we see the tension between the CFO wanting to push the IPO out into 2027, Sam Altman wanting to pull the IPO into 2026. And this is where I say, I think the big problem for them is that they are just burning through way too much cash. So not only do you have to look at things like, so they burned $12.3 billion in a single quarter, but you also have to realize all of those contracts that Sam Altman signed, right? Remember it was cool and sexy that Sam Altman was doing things like signing $300 billion contracts with Oracle? It showed what a real alpha dog he was. Well, here's the problem. sometimes, some point, you got to start paying on those contracts. So even if they got, I think they said their last funding round, they got like 130, 140 billion dollars, which again seems like a lot of money. To me, that's a lot of money. But when you're burning $12 billion per quarter and you have contracts coming down the line that are going to be $50 billion a year on top of your current burn rate, you can run through a lot of money really, really quickly. So anyways, loss grew to 12.3 billion in the second quarter, up from 9.3 billion in the first. So basically they have burned through $21 billion in cash in the first 6 months of the year, a pace that exceeded revenue growth. Anthropic, by contrast, recorded a small adjusted operating profit of $559 million over the same period, according to Silicon Angle, citing that the company had made more efficient use of its computing resources. It is unclear what methods Anthropic used to calculate its adjusted profit, and the company excludes stock-based compensation from the figure, according to the Wall Street Journal. And so that's one of the reasons I'm not elated about Anthropic. Again, I still have a hell of a lot of questions about Anthropic. I still think a $2 trillion valuation of Anthropic is stupid. So one of the things you have to think about is, again, when they put numbers on the table, we talk about EBITDA and we talk about ARR and we talk about all these different numbers. One of the things you have to realize is that for accounting purposes, there are many different ways of doing accounting for a business. The primary thing that you have to keep in mind when you decide how you're going to do accounting for a business is basically once you figure out what you're doing, you just have to do that basically forever. So like there's an interesting thing. Like if you're going to have a managed service provider company or a contractor company, like with us, when we were figuring out how to do the accounting, basically there's the question of when do you realize revenue? And what I mean by that is when do you actually track revenue in your systems? So normally what you would think about is that you can track revenue when you actually get the check, right? You install a digital surveillance system, they hand you a $10,000 check, and that is when you track the revenue. That is a smart way. Again, let me be clear. Okay, if you actually want to run a real technology business that has a chance of success, do it that way. But one of the other things that you can do, again, and there's reasons for this, maybe you want to have a little bit better view of the timing for when transactions close, that type of thing. One of the ways you can realize the revenue is basically when somebody agrees to the work. So basically, when you sign the contract for a $10,000 surveillance system, I record the revenue at that moment in time before I've received the money, right? And that's one of those things where, again, if you're a reasonable human being, if you're a decent human being, if you're not trying to lie to people, there are practical reasons why you might choose one option or the other. The issue that you can run into, though, in the real world is, like, and we've talked about this before with things like artificial intelligence. You can start trying to record revenue before you've actually brought the money in. And one of the reasons that you might do that is because you're not sure the customer will actually pay. So let's say I'm trying to go out there and get investors. Let's say I wanted to create a new managed service provider company and I was going to do it in Baltimore City again, right? Baltimore City, look, there's a lot of great things about Baltimore City. One of the problems with Baltimore City is a lot of times people just don't pay the damn bill, right? So that doesn't look good. You complete work and then you don't get paid for it. Investors aren't going to be very happy with that. So if you know there's going to be a massive default rate on people actually paying the bill, but you want to get that investor money, what you can do is you can book the revenue at the time the contract is signed, show the investors what an amazing revenue stream you have, and then and then deal with the problems later when a whole bunch of your customers default and actually paying the bill, right? That's the kind of thing that you can do. And so that's one of the things with Anthropic here, right? I know what the AI fanboys want me to do. Like, Eli, this proves that Anthropic is profitable. And it's like, look, it proves they have profit based off of whatever accounting system that they are currently using. And we honestly don't know what the accounting system actually is. So what I will say here is it does seem like they are burning less cash than OpenAI. It seems like they're burning significantly less cash than OpenAI is. The divergence reflects a broader realignment in the AI industry. ChatGPT's decelerating growth alongside the breakout popularity of Anthropic's Claude Code among corporate clients has forced OpenAI into a reactive posture. OpenAI privately told investors that momentum picked up after it introduced new models in July, but offered no supporting data to substantiate that assertion. So think about that. Oh, no, investors. No, we're doing better. We are accelerating. I mean, we can't show you the data on that. We can't actually prove that. But look, you've gotta trust Sam Altman. I mean, come on now. And like, And again, one of the things that I would argue when you look at the AI race in 2026, I don't know how much do you think a new model is really going to accelerate OpenAI's growth in 2026? Like, don't get me wrong, right? I was there. I was there for ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, right? So I started using with ChatGPT 3.5. So going from 3.5 to 4, that was a real difference, right? You did have improvements. I don't know. Right now, August of 2026, do you really believe a new model in particular is going to drive that much growth? That just doesn't have a very good taste to it, I would say. So, anyways, there we go. More examples of how OpenAI is sucking wind and how OpenAI will be the Yahoo for the Gen Z generation. That's right. That's right. In 2040, some of you people out there, you're gonna be a cranky ass 40-year-old geek, and you're gonna be like, I remember when OpenAI was OpenAI. I mean, you're not going to really understand this story now, but I was there when OpenAI just seemed like it owned everything, and now we see what happened to OpenAI. I am foreshadowing the stories that you're going to be telling in 20 years. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Anthropic seemingly to massively accelerate revenue growth while, OpenAI is, still growing? What do you think about the burn? Again, what is it? $12.3 billion of cash burn in a single quarter. $21 billion of cash burn in the first 6 months of this year by OpenAI. And it seemed like Anthropic, if nothing else, one of the things that we can say is that at least they're losing a hell of a lot less money, right, than OpenAI is. What do you think this bodes for OpenAI, right? Anthropic is going to IPO most likely in September or October. It is probably going to be a gangbuster IPO. SpaceX is going to be out there. Anthropic is going to be out there. Do you think there's going to be any oxygen left for OpenAI? I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.